So, I got a new job. I had to take out a yoga influencer in Japan. Her name was Yuki Yamazaki, and on the surface, she was just a fitness influencer. But like most of them, she was hiding a nasty secret. Ever since the social media space got oversaturated, there was way less money in it, and like most influencers, she needed to find a real job. She actually became a lawyer, but a lawyer for the wrong types of people. She knew how to pull the right strings, and she set free war criminals and human traffickers. And that's where I came in. Welcome to Japan. I've always wanted to go here, and I thought the only way I could actually make this happen and afford it was to make it a work vacation. The economy and the job market is terrible at the moment, and with inflation and everything, I couldn't get hired anywhere. So, I had to look at some sketchy job listings, and one of them included a trip to Japan. Unfortunately, it was a job that no one wanted to do, but it paid so well. I woke up pretty late, with a golden robe on, and also, I was bald? Anyway, I got up and took a look out the balcony to see, I think it was Mount Fuji or something. It doesn't matter. Regardless, it wasn't going to be this relaxing for long. I was staying at a luxury wellness retreat, and even though I technically wasn't on vacation, I thought I would take at least the first few minutes of the day to pretend like I was. This flat had the biggest TV ever, so I decided to see what was on. Oh my god. The last thing I need is a giant TV telling me to eat organic food. It was time to do the job, and as I left the flat, I started thinking about how I got here. Is what I'm doing any different than what Yuki's doing? After all, I'm pretty much just doing this for free vacation and tons of money. I mean, I also was in the social media, the music, and the entertainment world, and I had to leave it because the whole industry was actually just collapsing and no one was getting paid for anything. Not only that, I was really tired of being public all the time. In that career, you kind of have to share everything about you. But man, it was really nice to experience privacy for the first time. These days, it feels like privacy is a privilege. It's almost like we're constantly under surveillance or just oversharing ourselves just to stay relevant and seen. But this was why Japan was so incredible. It was like starting with a fresh slate, a new identity, a new life. But I had a job to do. So I found a hammer on the floor and took it with me, since blue-collar trade jobs seem to be the only things surviving in this day and age. I found a gap in the balcony, and a drain pipe that led down somewhere, which was really convenient because I needed to get to the parts of this spa where I wasn't supposed to be. And conveniently, there was a window open. It was a room that looked like what you would find in a capsule hotel. And surprisingly, these things are pretty cozy, but it was not time to sleep. I realized sneaking around in a bright golden robe probably wasn't the best idea, so I headed to the showers. There was an employee with the exact outfit I needed. I had to make a decision. Were there going to be casualties in order to accomplish my mission? To take care of this, I thought it was the most appropriate to bring out the bloop juice. It was perfect. I now looked like a staff member of the spa, but I couldn't just leave him out there drowning in shower water. I had to put him away. And now was the real test. Will my coworkers realize that I actually don't work there?
Isn't it a total ban?
I don't know. Patient did die.
Wow,
Famous one.
it worked. Oh, a security guard. Will he know? I can't believe this is actually working.
Calm. Looking at the beautiful fish. If you could take a couple steps back, it would set my mind at rest.
That was a close one. Anyway, I kept walking toward what looked like a garage and saw another fellow bald guy who seemed like he was into New Age practices. I decided to eavesdrop on his phone call and picked up a wrench on the workbench because I figured it might come in handy later. I don't know what and who he was talking to on the phone, but it lasted forever. All I know is that he revealed that he was a yoga instructor for Yuki. He was on the phone for like another 3 hours, so I decided to actually pretend like I worked here and rearrange some toilet paper. The phone call finally ended, and I decided to follow him. It was now or never. No one was around the staircase. I couldn't risk having him wake up, so I decided to use the wrench. This was going to be the longest meditation session he's ever been in, but there was no time to waste, and I couldn't just leave him on the staircase. I dragged him up the stairs, and I put him in a locker. He'll be fine. Turns out the room actually led to the onsen, the Japanese spa area. Look at all these millionaires, de-stressing from all the money they have. I needed to find a way to get them to exit the hot springs area, so I ran back into the hallway and found a room. It was a maintenance room, and one of the pipes seemed to be controlling the temperature of it. I remembered that wrenches weren't only just good for sending people into long meditations, but to actually change the temperature of the spa. Everything was going as planned. I started hearing complaints about the spa being too hot, and everyone was exiting. The timing was impeccable. Yuki showed up. I decided to get her attention because we actually had a yoga session scheduled.
Miss Yamazaki, I believe you booked time for a yoga lesson.
Yes. To be honest, I was beginning to wonder if you're ever going to show.
She was extra passive-aggressive for no reason, but little did she know, this was going to be her last yoga session ever.
Let's begin with Upward Facing Dog, when you're ready.
Yoga had become extremely popular in the last few years, especially with influencers and I guess the well-off in general. But I can't lie, I don't really know how to do yoga poses, but it felt really good in the meantime. At least she was at peace before I had to do what I had to do. And as we held the Warrior 2, I couldn't help to think to myself, was I sure I wanted to do this? There was no turning back. I had already gotten this far. It was time.
Now, this is a view to die for.
I can't believe I did it. The job was done, but it wasn't over. The security guards were confused. Where did Yuki go? I knew that they would only ask one person, and that was me, the yoga instructor. There was so much adrenaline that I almost took the wrong door. I went back to the hallway, and I saw Karma staring directly at me. But there was no time for a conscience. I needed to get out, fast. I couldn't escape looking like the yoga instructor that just pushed an influencer off a cliff. So I looked for any exit that I could. I took the first door I could find and ran down the stairs as quickly as I could, only to find a door into a morgue? This is where they keep dead bodies. Why are they doing that here? There was no time for questions. All I needed was a new outfit.
It's me. Are the final details in play?
Was it worth taking out 2 more people just to escape? I didn't know what the answer was, but there was so much adrenaline and so much anxiety, I just had to act.
Not that it's
Hey! Someone, please! Hey!
Was it smart to put on medical garb covered in blood to escape? Probably not, but anything was better than a yoga instructor at the moment. On the way out, another doctor almost recognized me, and I wasn't going to let them notice, so I made a run for it. The job was done, and I got away. So yeah, that's what I do now, and that was Japan. And honestly, in the current state of the world, you kinda just gotta do what you gotta do. This was Off Record with